What it do? Snackers, snackettes, and snack X's. Your boy Gage is here with the homie Jokes in the
Yo,
building.
yo.
Double yo for your health. You are now tuned in to Loading Snacks Weekly, where we get together once a week, talk about things that are happening in pop culture. And
Today,
today, Jokes, we got to cover all of the craziness that happened during San Diego Comic Con's Marvel's Hall H. It's
mm-hmm.
not that crazy. It's
Yeah.
really not that much. It's really not. But we're gonna discuss it nonetheless. We're gonna talk about Lego coming back around with more Star Trek stuff. That's specifically for you, Jokes. See what your pocketbooks look like. You know what I'm saying? And then we're gonna get into the pros and cons of the possibility of ad-supported game streaming.
Mm-hmm.
Kai, happy Spidey week back at
Indeed.
you. It's so Spidey week
Oh, yeah.
that
Everybody know it.
you know
Everybody
what I
know it.
mean? Y'all know what's happening out here. What's up, Andrew? You know what I mean? How could we
What
be
up, Heather?
any more excited? Heather, what's good? Heather, we gonna see you at Otakon this weekend? It would be kind of nice to run into you out there. Jokes,
Mm-hmm.
you got a job to do.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure you get that link to the website up for us. Website's the best way to follow us. If you're not already following us on social media, you could use the website to get to us across social media. Follow us across Instagram and Twitch or YouTube, where you're probably watching this right now, Facebook and such. It will also give you a link to check us out on Patreon, which is one of the really best ways to support us. Allows you the opportunity to support us monetarily, which allows us to keep doing the things that we're doing. Every little bit helps. And on that note, it's time for the 619 Patreon Hall of Fame.
Yes, so let's shout out our top tier patrons, starting with Anthony Cunningham, Marcus Houston, Susan Dortch, Tyrone Carson, Meticulous Skin, Alex Lee, Ellis Mbe, and Kermit Ferguson. Thank you very much. We truly, truly appreciate it.
Indeed, we do. And that essentially is the ringing of the bell. That means it is time for hashtag WHHW,
Woo!
which is what had happened was, which of course is last week's news. It's that way, Jokes? That way. It's over
I
there
don't know.
somewhere.
So, somewhere.
We're going to go get it for you. Bring it back. Jokes, hook me up.
Number one.
You know, Jokes, I cannot stress enough how big of a deal San Diego Comic Con can be
Absolutely.
when it comes to Marvel and or DC and Hall H and the announcements that can ensue from such a panel. I'm going to say that this year did not disappoint.
Mm-hmm.
There were definitely some surprises, some really good news. I'm going to start here. We got the announcement of not only Black Panther 3,
Mm-hmm.
but we got the announcement of our new Black Panther. Now, before you clap and get excited, Jokes, and all that, I want you to save some of it for me. You get the clap and be happy for me for calling it and telling you that they were going to replace Black Panther with the son of Black Panther.
Mm-hmm.
Called it David Johnson. Look, it's weird. There's some backlash around this announcement, but nonetheless, we have a new Black Panther.
Mm-hmm.
Toussaint, the son of T'Challa, who was introduced in the after credit scene at the end of the last Black Panther film. I don't time jump. I don't know.
It's somewhere.
There's something. But again, we have a bunch of other movies and things to get through before this happens. The second most important thing about this is that we got a date. Okay? Let me read this. Oh, December 15th,
Mm-hmm.
2028. So clearly, this is a post Secret Wars
Wars.
thing.
Yep.
It will be interesting to see what this means and how it affects everything else because Heather said no older
Oh,
this year. Not
oh
sure what my
man.
next comp will be. Heather, I'm gonna I'm gonna find a way to reach out to you. We gotta talk then.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? We gotta figure that out. Oh, what up, Christian? Um,
Good
I
old
got
K.
K in the building. Listen, jokes.
Mm-hmm.
If a young Black Panther, the son of T'Challa,
Mm-hmm.
is taking over the mantle, obviously there is a what happens to his auntie? What's going on
Mm-hmm.
with Shuri? What does she do? What does she become? Does that mean that she becomes the queen and he assumes the Black Panther mantle? Does it mean that with him being young, he now falls into young Avengers territory with all the other children
Mm-hmm.
of the heroes that we have already had? And
Definitely.
then how does that play into a new Marvel universe that includes the X-Men in this MCU?
Mm-hmm.
Will be very interesting to see. Um, but it makes me feel like we're correct in that they are going to push forward with the Young Avengers
Younger.
initiative.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. At this
in
point
somewhere.
now, adding that element in, it's like, we had been talking about, maybe Shuri would pass it all, or like the Black Panther mantle to somebody else, whether it be, obviously we know like M'Baku is king now, so there was a chance that maybe he would take the reign and make it
Mhm.
kind of make sense. She would go back to being the whole scientist. But then, when his son was introduced, it was like, you know what? Somewhere down the line, he's going to become Black Panther. Just
Has
didn't
to,
think it was going to be relatively this quick into the
has
mix
to.
of it. But obviously, with Secret Wars coming, Doomsday here, that's going to be here at the end of the year. There could be tons of time manipulation, dimension tomfooleriness as we try to, like, I don't want to say
Yeah,
reset or, kind of like, to start fresh with
yeah,
everything on it. So obviously we can go into the time, like a time jump is super easy to do. Some
yeah.
event happens and just hit the same thing like they would in game, 5 years passed after everything happened. So it's an absolute
I mean,
possibility, but
I don't even know if it has to be that. I mean,
mhm,
the reality of it is we don't know if this is the same child. It
mhm,
might not be, right? It could be from a different timeline or something along those lines in terms of the multiverse. I mean, look, Secret War is the bringing of the entire
mhm,
multiverse together into one place, but then the subsequent defeat of Doctor Doom, which like spoilers, I guess, like it's inevitable, like right,
yeah,
like it's already written, it's in the books. Like we know that Doctor Doom gets defeated. Whether or not it actually ends up being Reed Richards that does it or whatever, like it
right,
was in the most recent comic, remains to be seen. But the defeat of Doctor Doom and the removal of Battle World does split us back into a multiverse.
mhm,
So, like, who ends up where and how that all works out or whatever is still very up in the air.
yeah,
But it doesn't mean that this isn't a version of T'Challa's son that got pulled from another
another
universe
universe.
or something like that, right? But if not, this is a child who would be trained by one of the greatest stealth assassins that you know what I mean, Wakanda has produced in his mother alone,
Hmm.
right? So it'll be interesting to see how all that turns out. I'm not upset. People are upset because he's like British or whatever. Like I don't,
Oh, what does that have to do with anything? Like I hate that.
um,
Like, if you're afraid that his accent is going to spill out, I mean, he's an actor, so I'm sure he could hide his accent for those that.
I don't think that's necessary though. Like like a couple of things. One, where is this child being raised? It ain't in Wakanda. So one, not likely to have a Wakandan accent, but sure, he could do a Wakandan accent if need be. Chadwick
Yeah.
Boseman did. Two, where is this child being raised? He could be being raised in a place where they
and
have British accents, and it just makes sense that that's like people are so stupid, bro. Like they're just so like I don't know. They get caught up in things that just don't
actually,
that aren't important. You know what I
Andrew
mean?
has a cool spin, even though I don't think this would actually be.
Andrew
If we
says
do
if
the
we do the
multiverse.
multiverse, this
Hmm.
could be Storm's and T'Challa's son, says MCU as X-Men. You're right. I don't think this is where it will be. However,
Hmm.
I had a great discussion with somebody earlier this week about how they need to watch the next Avengers animated show because the children that are in that, James, who was the child of Natasha
Hmm.
and Steve, which, again, named after Bucky, James Buchanan Barnes. His name was James. Like, what his power set was like. Thor's daughter was in it.
Hmm.
That version, like a Black
Could be.
Panther with electric powers, is kind of out of control. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What up, Zay? Glad you
Somewhere in the
boarded.
air.
Happy to see you get back in town because we gotta go see Spider Man tomorrow. It's happening. Um, safe travels. You and
Mhm.
Black Kim. So, um, jokes. They also announced Ryan Gosling
Mhm.
for the Ghost Rider movie. Now, I am very much in the pump your brakes mode about pump your brakes. One, I don't know if I care about Ryan Gosling being Ghost Rider. That's one.
Mhm.
Two, I'd rather have Robbie Ray as Ghost Rider, I
I'm
feel
in that
like.
same place too.
Three, they announced Blade like 7 years ago. Brought the actor on stage. Here it is. Here it comes. It's going down. I'll believe it when I see it.
I agree. I agree with that. Like, I don't listen. I don't know what tobacco has happened with Blade. Like, it's just like in the MCU. Like, things have been with everything else. Yes, there's been like the delay here and there, shifting things around, but for the most part, almost every single project has come to fruition. Blade has just become this. Oh, we'll get to it. Oh, like I don't
No,
know,
I
but
mean, look, they had some issues with the writers. They had some issues
mhm.
with production and people leaving and changing and all of that kind of stuff. Look, here's what I'm gonna say. This is probably my biggest issue with the MCU.
That's funny, bro.
Um, is Heather said I was wondering how the same person could be playing Deadpool and Ghost Rider. Then I realized I was confused. Yeah, indeed, you are.
But let's be real here.
Although
It
multiverse
multiverse, it
could be,
absolutely could be a thing.
yeah, because there 100% could be another Johnny Storm that is Chris Evans in this movie, like for sure. Um, here's the thing: the MCU, I honestly believe, has done their best work
Hmm.
when they introduce new and important characters in someone else's film first.
Agreed.
Not that Iron Man and Thor and Captain America didn't quote unquote do it on their own. But truthfully, like the launch of Black Panther in someone else's movie, even the launch of Spider-Man in someone else's movie, the launch of Black Widow in someone else's movie, all the other characters that are side characters that we cared about, Vision, Wanda, like,
Hmm.
I'm not saying it can't be done. I'm just saying that I feel like for the most part, they've had their best success when they allow characters to be important in the story of other characters we already
Hmm.
care about, and then they bring them in.
Hmm.
Ghost Rider is an interesting character. One, because we keep trying to do it. And I just I just don't know. Um I'm not positive why. I don't dislike Ghost Rider.
Hmm.
However, I do think that there are characters that would be better suited or that would be worth giving an opportunity to as opposed to
Beforehand.
ones we've already tried and didn't do a great job with. And so like I feel like I kind of have issues with the idea of attempting a redemption arc. I'm kind of in the same place with that as I am with X-Men. I want the X-Men, I want the MCU to have an opportunity. I want this team of producers and writers and whatever to have an opportunity to
Take their
do
go.
X-Men, but I don't want to see the same X-Men again. I don't want to rehash the same stories again. I don't, and like, I'm kind of glad that if we're already at Secret War, it means that we're already quote unquote past Avengers versus X-Men.
X
Like, in
Men,
terms of the
right?
way that timeline happened, that would already be done. So I'm kind of glad we're past it. I'm interested in seeing what else they can do, where they can go. And to some extent, I'm kind of interested in the MCU being able to do stories that aren't in the comic books yet. Stuff that hasn't happened.
Yeah.
Um and I say that because look, today I turned on Spider-Man 2 on my PlayStation for the first time in probably, I don't know, 2 years or whatever,
Hmm.
because they added the
Add in new
brand new
costume.
Jesus to it. So I have to go swing around the city. I'm not going to play the game, but I got to go swing around the city, right? And but here's the thing. The story there, yes, there are pieces that come from the comic books that are in those stories, but I like those stories by
Hmm.
themselves. What is happening with this new, they did a new trailer for Wolverine, for the new Wolverine game that's coming out. I don't know how great the game's going to be. Insomniac has a great track record, but one
Hmm.
of the things that is really great about Spider-Man is just being able to swing around the city. Like, it is
Hmm.
honestly one of the best things about the game, other than, again, it's got a solid story. Um, it looks like it's gonna have its own story. It looks like they're going their own direction with it, and I love that for them. You know what I mean? Like, being able to do that. The MCU, I feel like, has earned the right
To take
to
some of those
really kind
liberties
of,
and be
yeah, to
able
take
to
some liberties and just
jump
be
in.
like,
Like, I agree. Like, I like, being able to, it's cool when we see certain, storylines being able to be turned into MCU. But when we can get, like, let's say, obviously, Secret War happens, we go through everything, but now we can take, more liberties. Like, hey, this multiverse or this universe is now different. Like, obviously, the MCU 616 is different than that of
right,
other
the comics,
universes. So,
yeah,
it's cool to almost explore. I don't want to say like a what if, but it kind of is like, what if something happens? We get it in the MCU version of the comics. Like, I know there's going to people to be like, oh, well, this is not how it happened in the comics. But it's like when we can see something different that we're not necessarily expecting, obviously
yeah,
with certain storylines and everything, you're like, oh, I know this is coming. Don't get me wrong. You're going to be excited for certain things. But when you're anticipating it because you know it's already, laid out there in color in comics, but then when they hit you with the twist that it's like, oh, and like that just can hit
yeah,
so much better.
yeah,
Like obviously Infinity War, you knew Thanos was going to snap the finger and half the universe is going to get snapped away. It's like, but that
right.
type of thing you want to anticipate. But when you can have a story go in a whole different direction than what you're expecting, I feel like it's a bigger win.
I do too. I mean, bigger win. I'm not positive on that. Like, I don't know what
Mm.
else you do with it once you, if like once you go that direction. Look, one of the things about the MCU is that the MCU does sell comic books. It does make
Hmm.
people go back and
Yes.
buy the books where the main stories came from and see how the original
How
version
things
of
were
it
different.
went and whatever. Like, there is that, right? So you do have to figure out, I guess, if you're going to go that route from a business standpoint, how do you continue to quote unquote milk it, right? Milk the
Hmm.
property. But again, there are so many characters in the Marvel universe, and the fact that the characters that we do have in the MCU, for the most part, are their lower tier, high tier
Hmm.
characters, if you will, right? And like, we can go any number of directions if the writing is right, if they
Hmm.
handle it the right way. And um I don't know. Like, I like, again, I don't I don't have anything against Ghost Rider. Listen, they might do it and Ghost Rider might become my favorite character of all time that isn't Spider-Man. Maybe.
Possibility.
I don't have anything against Ryan Gosling, truthfully. Like, I think Slim is cool. I'm not excited about the idea of him playing Ghost Rider, but like, all right, I guess.
Gotta give it a
You know
shot.
what I mean?
Like, cool. Bringing the character back that we haven't seen on screen in a while now. Like, obviously, we talked about Ronnie Reyes. Like, I would like to see that version of Ronnie Reyes from like Agents of
And
Shield
we
show
might
back
be
up.
getting him. Like just because Ryan Gosling might be playing Ghost Rider doesn't mean there won't be a Robbie Reyes in there
Right.
somewhere, or it's not planned for a sequel or whatever it is, right? Like it could happen. So I don't I don't want to kill it right now and be like, this is not like whatever, right? I'm trying to maintain the in Feige we trust, you know what I mean, mantra. So like, you know, yeah, Kermit says Ryan Gosling Ghost Rider.
Nah,
Hashtag no.
I don't know. I'll give it. I always want to give it an
Oh
opportunity. Like obviously they see something in him. Like granted, it's funny because apparently there's an interview that Ryan Gosling did at San Diego Comic Con like 2022 where someone was like, "Hey, you for Ghost Rider." So it's kind of like almost like a full circle type of thing that this actually
yeah.
happens. But if it pans out, that'll be what we see. But I'm all here for
Again,
giving it a chance.
here's my thing. He might be incredible. Like I think Ryan Gosling does does good action,
Hmm.
pretty solid action. Like if you go watch The Gray Man on Netflix,
Funny
it's good.
enough, you brought that
Um,
up.
Give me more Gray Man or Stuntman. Yeah, see, I mean, again, so like stunts, motorcycles, like
That
that's
kind of
Ghost
fits.
Rider.
That
You know
fits
what I
Ghost
mean?
Rider to a T right
Action,
there.
Gray Man, like that's Ghost Rider. Like I'm not saying he can't do it. Also, who wanted Nicolas Cage to be Ghost Rider? No, nobody. Also, who wanted Michael Keaton to be Batman? Nobody. Also, who wanted Robert Pattinson to be Batman? Nobody. Also, who wanted George Clooney to be Batman? Nobody. Also, who wanted Val Kilmer to be Batman? Nobody. I'm, I'm, I'm just saying, truthfully, nobody really wanted Robert Downey Jr. to be Iron Man either.
Hmm.
We didn't have faith in
It
that
was a
at
gamble
the time.
at the time. Yeah.
It was 100% a
Hmm.
gamble. Now it's like you couldn't do it
You
without, like
can do it.
you can't live without him so bad. They made him Doctor Doom, bro. Like
Dr.
I don't know.
Doom.
Hey, listen, Kay said, but yet Nick Cage did that though. And sure, listen,
Yeah.
I am a big fan of Nick Cage in The Rock. Like that joint is, it's one of my favorite movies. It shouldn't be. It is. You know what I mean? It's the it's a continuation. It's a James Bond movie. Let's be real. Andrew said I found it funny. Someone said that James Marsden worked with all the people in the Notebook coming to the MCU.
Hey,
Facts,
listen. Hey, listen.
facts.
They needed to move on from the notebook. So it's like, hey, let's get into this comic bag right quick.
You gotta listen. You gotta be able to play both sides of the field if you're gonna be a real actor. You know what I mean? Everybody can't be Sam Jackson. Samuel L. Jackson has elevated himself to the
Oh,
place where when they pick him for a role, they are picking him to play himself.
self. That's it.
That's who he is. If Samuel L. Jackson cries in a role, I just assume that's exactly what it looks like when Samuel L. Jackson cries
Dr.
for
Cry.
real. Like, you know that's what it's like when he cusses you out. So it must be what it's like when he cries. Like it's got to be the same thing.
That's
Everybody
from real
can't
life
act.
experience. Every
Yeah.
cuss out moment, every MFR that he throws around, those are some real life scenarios that you're
Those are
getting.
straight up. That's yeah. Um look, overall, like look, we got to see, it was cool to see everybody together for
Yeah.
real.
Yeah.
The X-Men cast, old school, the new MCU folks, the Fantastic Four, like seeing everybody together at once on a stage
Hmm.
was dope. And it is truthfully what the epic that Doomsday is gonna be.
Gonna be.
Like it's gonna be everybody, and I'm telling you right now, we still like they haven't announced everybody that's gonna be in this.
Not at all. Not at all.
Not even close.
I like the nuggets that they did, during like let's be real, like having Ryan Reynolds being Ryan Reynolds, showing up at San Diego Comic Con, walking around in Deadpool outfit, like obviously his Jean Grey color, and no one knew it was him. But then having him show up during the panel and act like, hey, so when does filming start? Is there room for somebody else in
Mm-hmm.
the thing for Robert Day?
Mm-hmm.
No, it's shut down. Like clearly like somewhere in some shape or form, even if it's some stupid cameo for Deadpool to just show up for all of 5 seconds and then work his way out, it's
For all you
probably
know,
in
it's the
Doom.
after credits. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it could be the after credits.
Yeah,
Like,
but he
just
gonna work. He gonna work his way in there somewhere.
yeah, yeah, I'm sure. Um, yeah, I mean, look, in a lot of ways, Ryan Reynolds and Deadpool are responsible for what we do currently have in terms of mutants. Period.
Hmm.
Right? Like, X Force was in his movie. Like, we get Cable, and like all of them are in those movies with him. So at some point we got to bridge that gap.
Hmm.
Um, Again, I just thought it was cool to kind of see everybody. It's exciting to see all of that star power. To know that this
Yeah,
movie is like 3 hours long.
yeah.
Prepare yourselves. You know what I
Prepare
mean? Prepare
yourself.
yourselves for some twists, some plot twists. You know what I mean? It's going down. And prepare yourselves to cry. Everybody's not making it, y'all.
No,
Let
definitely
me just
not.
make it very clear. I'm not talking about they'll make it to Secret War and then they won't make it through Secret. Everybody's
No,
not making it through this movie.
this
It's not
no,
happening.
not at all.
It's not happening. So just prepare yourselves. Just prepare yourselves.
It's yeah.
Hook me up, jokes.
Number two.
Jokes. I need you to go to the link in the Runner Show
Okay.
and look at number two. I need you to pop that link in. We need to take a look at the Lego website. Over the weekend, Lego decided to specifically go after jokes.
Oh,
Wow.
again.
Um, is it again? Did you buy the other joint?
I haven't bought nothing yet, but it's
All
like
right, so then yeah, so you just I mean, listen, I need these minifigures. We got jokes. Put the link up.
pulling it up
We gotta
right now.
we gotta look at this because while they already did last year in Enterprise, the USS Enterprise, this is specifically the bridge. Classic original OG bridge. Now, jokes, if you go to the second one on the left, let's just
Hmm.
watch the video so we can kind of see what everything
Ah,
looks like. The second one down, yeah. Yeah, let's take a look at it. There's no audio to it, but just to have the opportunity to see, look
transporter.
at yeah,
Like
look everybody's there, bro. Everybody's there. This is I mean, I need a spot. I have to have that Lego figure. I need that minifig. It's necessary. And you know how you're gonna have to get it? $200.
that's not too bad comparison to everything else they've been throwing
It's
out
not,
left and right.
and it's like 1,700 pieces. It's not even that many pieces. Um,
Kirk got the triple.
of course, yeah.
Yeah,
I
nah,
mean,
that's
it's pretty dope, bro. It's pretty dope.
I dig
I'm,
it.
I'm. I mean, jokes. Let's be real. I feel like you're spending this money, dog.
This is a little easier. I can stomach this one a little bit easier, but like I just it's a simple setup. I like the open layout that they do for it. Like they could have easily, made it, a completely closed off bridge, the floors and everything. But I think this makes it a lot simpler when you can open it up to really see, the computers and stuff in the background, being able to put everybody like their stations and stuff on there. Adding in the transporter room, obviously you got to have when you have certain interactions with certain characters, like Scotty beam me up and all that. Like it just makes perfect sense. Like I
I
love
think
Lego.
one of the things I like about it is that this specifically gives the feeling of like you're on the set of the TV
Yeah,
show, like the way
yeah,
that it's laid out. It's like that. So it reminds me a lot of like the one they did for Friends, which was like their set. Come on, Cuddy. Cuddy
Sure,
said
it's
they
what
tripping with the $200 price tag. Nah, I don't know. He said it's too small for that price. See, here's the thing, Cuddy. Under normal Lego circumstances, I would say you're right. The reason why this is different is because it's Star Trek and they know the people are coming for it. They
Yep.
they spent the money on those other joints, and the ships clearly is iconic. So like having the
Yeah.
actual ship, like that's a whole different thing. But the bridge is arguably just as iconic. And here's what
Uh-huh.
I feel like, jokes.
Actually, the
They
ad
are
is the
going. I
same.
was just gonna
The
say
bar and the
they're
hollow
gonna
deck.
end up doing next gen. They're gonna do Star Trek: The Next Generation. They have to do that bridge. They have to, cause I
Yeah.
need a Jean Luc Picard.
Dog, I need like dog. I want the mini fit. Like, oh god, I don't want to get. I
That's
want to get
what
the
I'm
enterprise, but
saying.
I'm not trying to drop the enterprise money. Like, I just want the mini fix. But
Listen, bro. It 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 is. It's a little ridiculous, but I also want to say, coming out of San Diego, bro, the sideshow Hot Toys, Magneto, Beast, that Spider-Man joint's actually kind of weak. I was a little upset about that. I was a little upset about it. Like I'm not gonna hold you.
I
I was
see
a
what
little
we did
upset.
there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Doc Dooley engaged. Um, yeah, I mean, look, I grew up with Star Trek,
Mhm.
and I'm not a Trekkie like you are. You know what I mean? Like my pops is a Trekkie, not a Trekkie like you are. However, there's something about Next Generation, bro. I
Yeah, it
had to
just
watch that joint every week, and I'm gonna say this as a person who has watched, consumed so much pop culture.
mhm.
There is a character who I feel like gets less left off of the best villain list far too often, and that is Q.
Hey, listen,
When you
that
do a
dude,
list of the greatest villains of all
dog,
time, Q needs to be on that list.
that
Period.
dude is just no. As a matter of fact, right? Yo, Q just
Straight
he
up.
just makes it his
Dr.
person just to be in your way for no reason. Picard and them
100%.
taking care of some other mission had nothing to do with the Q or the Q continuum or anything like that. And that dude just show up.
Don't matter.
What's up, guys?
It doesn't
I'm
matter,
back.
dog. It doesn't matter, dog. Like, I can't, bro. Like they do a next gen joint and they put Q in that joint. We got it. It's like there's no.
Yeah. Nah, they gotta do that. Like Q, like when they did, speaking like when Picard came out and
Mhm,
Q is in one of the seasons, they give him and Picard a great, send off in there. Like,
mhm.
not gonna spoil anything. Obviously, it's been out for a while, but they
Yeah.
give them a good wrap to their story. And if you've grown up and watched the whole entire thing, it gives you that teary eyed feeling like, man, next generation really like this is like over now. Like
Mhm.
it's yeah.
Mhm. It's a very different thing, bro. Um,
Nicely
look,
on the
man,
shelf. I got
I am very excited about this because I can't wait to see you spend that money. I'm excited about you not having a choice.
oh, man. Man, oh man.
I mean, yeah, bro. Okay. Now, haven't gotten there. Give me a second. I was gonna see. Let me see if I can get you this. Let me get you this hot link. This hot toys link
Cool.
right quick. I'm gonna drop it in the doc for you.
Wait, what?
Um,
Janeway is Q's child godmother? Like, dog,
yeah,
that's a
yeah,
lot.
that's crazy.
That's a lot to unpack right there.
Crazy but facts.
Lego Star Trek movies coming now. Hey, listen,
Yeah, I
that could be
know.
a
I
possibility,
know.
and that would
That's gonna be a thing.
those will be absolutely hilarious.
It's gonna be a thing. I just dropped that other link for this video in the in the same space for you.
Same
I want you
space.
to grab that. Yeah. Um.
Was that? Yep. C.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's just. I mean, look. When does the show have to have rails? You know what I mean? Um. This joint came for all my wallets. Uh. Again, some of it I wasn't super excited about, but like, just look at the. Not super happy about that or that, but I like that they did it. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's cool that they went that route.
Okay. Weapon X sounds pretty clean.
Weapon
Ooh.
X joint is very clean.
Ooh. My man whipped me. Now that
That, hey,
that.
bro, that joint.
All right. Hey, listen.
I ain't gonna hold you. There's a
Hey.
see-through Iron Man. That
Oh.
one where you can see like the mechanics on the inside. Like, dog, what are they doing? It's unnecessary, bro. Like,
No,
they
the
don't
Iron Man
have to
Jones
do that
cool,
kind of stuff.
but it's like I feel like when you have those characters and like you got to have like I'm sure it has like the removable head that you could probably put on there that's like Robert Downey Jr. But when you get more of the details when you actually have like their face like
Oh,
on the
it,
figure itself. But
there's no two ways about it, bro. They dropped the Doctor Octopus joint that I was like, bro, if I cared about Doctor Octopus, I would have to have it. And I got a little bit of love for Doctor Octopus, but not like that, bro. Not don't do that. Um, yeah, man. I'm the Doom joints, that uh Magneto joint, the Professor X joint, and the Beast joint. I have never wanted those joints in my life so bad. Ever. We'll talk about those maybe next week. Um, hook me up, jokes.
Number 3.
To wind us up, take us out. Xbox is always doing something kooky, bro. Um, so this past week they announced that they are testing ad-supported game streaming, jokes. Um, and I don't. I'm sure you saw this, or did you not? You didn't see.
I saw it, and when I saw the ad streaming part, I was just like, I'll skip because I'm like, I'm not, I'm already paid into it, so it ain't gonna matter anyway.
Right. It doesn't. I mean, realistically, it doesn't affect us. But I
Yeah.
want to read a bit from it. Um, I think it's interesting. So it says today we're starting to test an ad-supported way to stream select games from your library for a limited time, available to Xbox insiders. During this test period, Xbox insiders with an Xbox account will be able to stream games they own for free with ads. Players will have 1 hour session limits across supported devices and regions. Here's what you can expect. Number one, ads will play before sessions begin. Number two, the core game experience is unchanged. Number three, this is optional. Players can choose other ways to play at any time. For many
Mhm.
players, the device they already own allows them to stream games with Xbox. Cloud can also help Xbox One owners play newer games built for Xbox Series X and S without needing to purchase new hardware right away. That can be especially meaningful in places where consoles are harder to find or less affordable, giving more players another way to access great games on devices they already have.
Mhm.
Advertising has existed in gaming for decades, from in game placements to free to play models, but it hasn't always been built with the player in mind. When done well, advertising can help lower the cost of access, so it creates another way for players to get into games without an upfront streaming purchase and expands audiences through new ways to play. For brands, this only works if showing up here adds to the experience, not takes away from it. Given that, we want to be clear about how we will approach ad supported services across Xbox. One, we start with the player. Ads should create value. Two, we do not interrupt the flow of gameplay. Three, we hold
Uh,
ads to the same quality bar as our content. Four, we're clear about what's advertising. 5, we make sure ads fit what players expect on each platform. We'll learn from this test and continue to improve it based on how players use it and what they tell us. Our goal is simple: give more people more affordable ways to play. All right, so look, jokes. This doesn't
Mm.
technically directly affect us.
Right.
Um, I am an Xbox insider.
Same here.
Are you in the alpha
I'm in
program?
alpha. Yeah, skip ahead. Yep.
So you do have probably the option to
Active.
do this.
Mhm.
This doesn't really affect us. Um, I hate ads on my things.
Hey, listen, I already knew. Yeah, look, when you were reading that, because the first thing came to mind was, all right, y'all, where are you going to put these ads? Because I'd be damned if either I'm playing this and like in the middle of a fight and the ad just randomly decides to pop
Right.
up, or I'm in here in a cutscene and the cutscene getting good and you throw the ad in the middle of my cutscene?
Yeah. Yeah.
No.
I look. I think saying, look, we're gonna play like two ads, two 30-second ads or whatever it
Mm-hmm.
is before you get to play is cool. I think that the idea of saying you're gonna watch an ad and you get to play for an hour, I don't
Mm-hmm.
know what that means. Because
Yeah.
I don't exactly know how that plays out. Does that mean at the end of an hour you get another ad? It says they're not gonna interrupt gameplay. Seems like you might interrupt
You're
gameplay
gonna
if that's
have
gonna
to,
be
it
the
seems
case.
like.
Yeah, in some way, it would appear that that's gonna be a thing you would have to do. Um, I do like the approach.
Mm-hmm.
I do think that it is important, as we've discussed many times on this show, especially recently, as the price of gaming goes up, not just the price of consoles or whatever, but the
Mm-hmm.
price to be a gamer gets more expensive. When you look at the landscape of the younger generations that are playing games now,
Mm-hmm.
the children, I'm gonna say, right? The 7, 8, 10, in that range. I feel like in a lot of ways they're used to ads, and that if they could access games they couldn't normally access by letting an ad play or something like that, that it
Mm-hmm.
might work. I do think they bring up a good point, and I think it's a smart business decision to try to continue to find ways for people who have older hardware to be able to experience games on newer hardware that, like, again, if you can't afford to go up to the new Xbox and you can't afford to go up to the one that's coming after that, I think that if you are playing your cards right, knowing how expensive PlayStations are going to be, I think that also
Could they
plays a
do
role in
Regular
it. Andrew
2
said, could they
with
do like
premium?
YouTube does with premium? Probably. I mean, look, I think that what we're looking at is already kind of that. I think that,
Yeah.
with Game Pass, you do have streaming, but you don't have to have Game Pass necessarily to stream anymore. Like, one of the things that they're doing that I think is really smart is they're allowing you to stream games that you just own. Um, I also, another thing that they announced last week was that they were bringing backwards compatibility to PC.
Mm-hmm.
It's only 4 games right now. It's about the same 4 games that they started with when they first brought it to console. But again, I think that in a landscape where right now everybody is going crazy about physical
Mm-hmm.
and ownership and whether or not their stuff goes with them and will they be able to keep doing it, especially after you had PSN have an outage and then Xbox had an outage yesterday, right? People not being able to access their stuff, even if it's single player, if
Yeah.
they don't have access to the internet, if the system is down, those kinds of things. Um, I certainly think that there is a space where this kind of a thing is important. Again, especially given what the landscape is in terms of affordability in
Yeah.
this country. But I also think it's important to keep in mind that outside of this country, it's always been more expensive than it has been here, right? Like Australia, places in Europe, like consoles have always been a higher expense in their own dollars, not just, transferred over to our
Mm-hmm.
money, but it's always been more expensive. So that means that now it's even more expensive and it will continue to get more expensive because these prices coming down just doesn't look like it's going to happen anytime soon.
Yeah. No time soon.
So Yeah, sure, Andrew. I think they could do a premium. They could do a tiered level of it, or give you access to certain games, or maybe begin to give you access to games you don't own,
Hmm.
like a Game Pass. You know what I mean? Which is basically what that is. There's already tiered levels for that. I think what you're going to see more of, I think you're going to see more bundles. I
Yeah,
think a lot of what's happening now, especially on the streaming side, and I don't think that game streaming will be different from this, is that you are seeing companies come together that don't normally work together in order to create packages.
achieve these goals of trying to get the
Yeah,
content in front of you. But yeah, because this is becoming like streaming services now. Like we were all happy, coming from the traditional cable days to being like, you know what? There's going to be these couple streaming services that are going to provide you content at like $9 and $10 a month. It was amazing. It was an amazing thing in the beginning stages. And then obviously everyone started to be like, well, you know what? We should have our own streaming service. We should have our own streaming
right,
service. We should have our own
right.
streaming service. And now you have this smorgasbord of just every single company out there having their own streaming services. And now everyone's like, you know what? We're not doing so hot on our own. Why don't we partner with you? And so we can give both of everyone a little bit of everything that we have to offer out here.
And I'll
It's
be honest, I think it makes perfect sense because one, there are too many services, too many separate bills, too many things, and to be honest, I think that like just having Disney do what they did and bundle the ones that they own into one
mm-hmm,
package, I think taught a lot of people a lot of lessons, right? They're able to give it to you for less. It it just, again, at the end of the day, it makes a lot of sense. And I think that because that's the case, we're gonna see more like that. Right now, if you have Discord, Nitro, you
mm-hmm,
get access to Game Pass. They are working on that same kind of a thing with Netflix. They are working on, so like, you're going to continue to see more and more of this, where these partnerships become
mm-hmm.
more normal, and they will try to package this kind of stuff in. And I just I think that there are probably some good scenarios where you'll see it. You're not going to see like Microsoft and Nintendo and like PlayStation come together and do one bundle where you can play all their games or whatever. Like,
That would be crazy.
it's not happening. Like,
That's
don't
some next level MCU universal implosion
don't even
incursion.
allow yourself to get that kind of excited. Like, just leave that alone. But again, what I will say is that the idea that now they're beginning to place all of these, again, different services together,
Mhm.
I think you'll continue to see more of that kind of thing. Again, I don't
Agreed.
want ads on anything.
Yep.
I just I'm just telling you, I will gladly pay
Yeah.
not to have ads. I can't even watch regular TV anymore. It drives me insane, bro. Cause it's always the same ads. Like every commercial break,
Hmm.
bro. There it's this. I'll be like, we just saw this commercial. This commercial was just on. Stop beating it into my head, bro. I
Hey,
don't need to
listen.
hear it
Whoever
anymore.
pays is just like if it's the only ones we get. Okay, fine, y'all. We're gonna run your ad every commercial break.
Hey, dog. I'm not saying I don't get it, cause I get it.
I don't want it.
I don't want it. I don't want it, and so I will
Yeah.
pay for it, cause I
Yeah.
don't.
And
I
being
don't
in the
want it,
middle of
bro.
games, like you said, that hour thing, like I can imagine like a message popping up, please pause your game and so we can show you this ad. Like
Yeah.
because I can't imagine like just to interrupt the game and like just to throw the ad up, especially if you're in the middle of something,
Yeah.
grinding
That's
away,
crazy.
absolutely disgusting.
That's throw your controller kind of upset, bro. It is. I don't know, dog. I saw that like right now the rumor is that Peacock and YouTube Premium are gonna be
I
doing a
did see
bundle.
that. Mm.
Again,
I
I
don't need
I
Peacock
don't have
anymore.
listen,
Like,
I don't have Peacock, but
mm,
I have YouTube Premium. And do you know why? I know
appreciate
you
you.
know why.
So you don't. Hey, listen, them ads. Hey, listen.
I cannot do it. I
Funny enough, like you
cannot
brought that
do it.
up, and thank you because now that I don't have ads, like Tatiana was watching something on
Mhm.
YouTube
Mhm.
and an ad started playing. I was like, Wait, what's happening? I was like, oh no, go to my profile.
You logged into the wrong account, Slim.
Go to my profile.
Don't you ever, dog, like that part. Don't you ever. Yeah, man, listen, I don't know, man. We'll see. Um, Joes, we're gonna wrap up. What had happened was,
Mm,
um, I did have a top five plan for the day, but we're gonna skip it. We're not gonna do that today.
gotcha.
We do have. There was a good number of trailers that came out. Um, over the course of San Diego of the
Hmm.
Comic Con, if you will. Um, we'll probably take a look at those in a day or two. The reality of it is, we got to start prepping for this weekend for Otakon. Really excited about spending some time at Otakon Friday and Sunday.
Hmm.
Saturday we will not be there. But Friday and Sunday, really looking forward to it. Um, I hope everybody has the best time going to see Spider-Man. I can't wait.
Yes.
I can't
I
wait. I
can't wait.
can't
This
wait
is
to hear what your thoughts are and to see what happens and how it connects to what's happening in Doomsday and the
Hey,
furtherment
listen, if you
of the
see it
MCU.
early, hey, listen, it's been a while since we talked about it, but the MCU chat, I've been posting some stuff in there and
Oh,
I put a place in there for people to go and be able to talk
mm,
all the spoiler stuff. So by all means, if you want
mm,
to get it off your chest, go into the
go do it
MCU
there.
chat and you can throw everything out there that you want to.
I agree. Um, but look, we'll be there. We're gonna
Mm,
talk about it. We're gonna do a spoiler boys for it. Clearly, when I don't know.
It's a little iffy, but we gonna figure it out.
Maybe Saturday to get it out to everyone. We are gonna see it together on Saturday again. It's part
Hmm.
of the reason why we won't be at Otakon on Saturday. So maybe Saturday
Saturday,
we'll be able to
sounds
get
bad.
that done and then uh get that out to everyone. You already know I'm gonna have opinion. I
Hmm.
have no less than tickets for 5 showings.
Hmm.
It's out of control. Not gonna lie, it's out of control. But I need to go see it in Screen X.
Yeah, that's
I
yeah,
need to go do that. I had to make sure that I like put that in the cards because it's the first movie that was ever shot with Screen X, like
specifically for
actually
Screen
shot with
X.
Screen X.
It's
So I
crazy to
want to
think that it's because Screen. It's not like Screen X is
not
super
new,
super new,
right?
and yeah, so that's it's real. It's real surprising.
Well, it's kind of like how
Uh oh, the enemy is only
3D.
showing the Odyssey and Spider Man. Oh, yeah.
Wow, as I said, the theater near me is only showing the Odyssey and Spider Man from Thursday through
it,
Sunday.
it ain't, and honestly,
Like, there's
that
no more
that's
showing. You mean like there's no more showings after that, or you mean those are the
I don't think
only movies that are
movies.
being
Yeah.
shown at the theater at all? Like all of
Mm-hmm.
their theaters will have one of those two movies playing. Which again, shout out to Zendaya, Tom Holland, and John Bernthal for all being in the two biggest movies of the summer. I'm just saying. Oh, by the way, Supergirl's now available for you to rent or buy. It's not on HBO Max yet. My recommendation: wait till it's on
Wait for
HBO Max.
HBO Max.
But
That's another streaming
but it is
service.
available. I also will say I did watch He Man last week, and that joint
Uh
came to Prime,
uh.
and I enjoyed it. I'm kind of glad I didn't see it in the theater, but I don't think I would have been mad if I had seen it in the
Yeah.
theater. It's dumb. You make
But it
that
was the
very clear.
expected. It was the expected. You kind of knew what you were getting from He Man.
No,
Really?
no, no. But it's like it's fun though. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? It's kind of like I mean, look,
Yeah.
I don't.
Only movies.
Okay, so Heather said they're the only movies that are being shown.
That doesn't surprise me because I mean I don't even know what else is really even out technically
What
right
kind of
now.
theater is
Besides,
that? If you don't mind me asking, Heather, like, is it a? I'm imagining it's got to be. It's not a Regal or an AMC or a Cinemark or something like that. Like, I feel like there's got to be something else that's playing. Although, like, Disclosure Day is also now like available.
hmm
Like, you don't like. So I don't know. Like movies, the turnaround is so quick now.
Oh, I just got it. I was like, Kate, what in the world are you saying? I'm like, I'm not even gonna put that up because Kate probably like, ha! I can hear him in the
Okay.
background.
Um, yeah. So
Ah, it's an AMC.
it's an AMC. That's interesting. How many screens are we talking about?
All right, because I mean, I know a friend of mine's at work was like one of the theaters he was looking at has like literally like in one day has like 30 showings of Spider-Man. So maybe
But
that's
I
the
could
same
see,
theater.
I could see that. But that's you're not generally doing more than 4 to 5 showings in any one
One theater.
theater. So, but if you have 10 theaters and you're doing 5 and 1, I don't know. That's interesting. That's very interesting. I might be upset if I didn't want to see one of the two of those movies. But to be honest with you, is there anything else worth watching right now?
That's what I
And some
said.
theaters?
I can't think of anything that is currently in theaters right now besides the two of those.
I mean,
Uh
bro, even if I open
White
AMC
Marsh.
app, oh,
That's a decent size.
see,
White Marsh theater is a
if
decent
White
size
Mart
too.
it's
That's
a
a decent
decent
size
size.
theater.
That's interesting. Um,
Must have saw the
let me
influx of them
just
tickets as they was coming through. So they was just like, guys,
well, let's
pull
see.
the other movies
Let
out.
me just I just
You
opened the
know?
AMC app and let's
All right,
just
let's take a look. Let's take a look.
the Odyssey. Clearly, that's playing. Moana, not doing so hot.
Nah, you can take that out.
Minions and Monsters, I heard good
Okay.
things about, but I don't think you're taking your kids necessarily to see Minions over Spider Man. Although you could. The Bad Guys too. Wham! 10 Days in China. I mean, maybe I would like it. Evil Dead Burn. Yeah, that's been out for a little while now, so I can see that. The Invite.
Boo! Yeah, she ain't playing.
Hades Town the musical. Young
Yeah, Spider Man
Washington.
alone.
Her Private
One, two,
Hell,
three,
Toy
four,
Story
five,
5, which again has also been out for a while,
19,
Motor
20, 21, 22, 23,
City.
24, 25.
This Obsession is still playing in the theater. That's kind of crazy.
28. Hey, dog. Just in the standard digital theater for Spider Man on Thursday, there's 28 showings, and they go all the way to 2 a.m. It's been a
I mean,
long
listen,
time.
what I'll tell you is that it makes sense because I can imagine that they probably didn't have that many showings lined up, and then
Hmm.
they kept selling out. Like they
Yeah.
probably just kept selling out seats, and so they were like, "Let's add another one, let's add another one, let's add another one." And clearly, like if you're not selling out other theaters, you're gonna do that. If you have enough copies to run in those like if you can run it in those other theaters,
Yeah. Do
it's
it. Yeah.
almost a why wouldn't you?
The Odyssey
So
only has 3 showings, and that's because of the fact it's only in the IMAX
IMAX,
theater.
right? Spider Man doesn't have an option for IMAX.
Maybe at least for like another week or so. I forget how
I don't.
long that agreement was for.
It doesn't matter, dog. Screen X. That's where I'm at. That's where I mean, that's it. Screen X. All right, Joe's look. Let's get ready to wrap the show up.
Hmm.
What's going on with the finisher?
Yes, sir. New episode of The Finisher. If you are a Patreon member, it is already live. It's been live for a couple of days. Hopefully, you guys went and enjoyed that. For everybody else, tomorrow, the newest episode will go live at 10 a.m. We get into the conversation with Nick Aldis finally stepping into a WWE ring at SummerSlam. A lot of people are not familiar with Nick Aldis as a wrestler, and they only know him as a GM on SmackDown. So we dive into a little bit of the history of Nick Aldis from his time in TNA and NWA. So I would highly play you come and check that out. Marcus also posed the question for us, who is our Mount Rushmore of black wrestlers as well too. So those are our two topics for the show. So I would highly encourage you guys to come check it out.
I would agree. I'm not gonna watch it. No, I'm kidding. But
Of course you are.
I I I mean, it's my job. Um, Yeah, I highly recommend you guys check it out. And not only do I recommend that you watch it, if you're not already following the Finisher Instagram, please go there and give them a follow. Share some of the content you see there. There are some really good like reels that are going there that are like content driven. Why they're like two tag team belts, that kind of
Dream
stuff.
Citadel, what's going on?
What up, Dream Citadel? Um, yeah, so like there's some really really cool and
Mm-hmm.
interesting stuff that's over there too. So I highly recommend going and following the finisher. Again, I want to remind everybody we will be at Otakon this weekend. You will see us on the floor talking to a lot of people, asking a lot of
Mm-hmm.
questions, shooting on the floor interviews, and so forth. We will be there all day Friday
Mm-hmm.
and all day
Appreciate it.
Sunday. Good to see you too. Yeah. Again, we're skipping Saturday. Because we're all gonna go see Spider-Man again. So,
Together.
but we're going as a group, and it'll be
Mm-hmm.
good for us to be able to do that. So, um, Friday and Sunday, we'll see you at Otakon. Very excited about that. Look for that content to start circulating and populating through the weekend and next week. That's right now. Hit
Gotta
that
go
like
that
button.
way.
Hit that like button. Um, Jokes,
Sir,
and we shut it down.
I think we can go ahead and shut things down.
And you know what? For old school's sake, tell the people what I need them to know.
Remember, y'all, just because you have a well thought out plan doesn't make it a good idea.
With that, we're out. Toodles and loose.
Loading snacks.